What up, my freaks? RuinousInsight here with part 49 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Malekith and Naggarond Inc. campaign. We here at Naggarond Inc. are always searching for more miserable locations for our offices. Derelict factories and abandoned mines are now being repurposed for offices by our newest subsidiary, Naggarond Zinc. Naggarond Zinc, a toxic work environment. So as we saw last time, yes, I had to make that stupid joke. As we saw last time, Hellebron has begun a war against Sylvania. Not so much that we need to or that we really get any benefit from it, but rather because she has to wait until the War Grove of Woe revives with the end game, so she might as well destroy some dead while doing so, and maybe getting a few power-ups for our allies here. We'll still also need to send an army out to Lorelorn Forest, and we may do so with either the Shellray or with somebody out here, depending on how many armies we want to keep with Malekith. Anyway, in addition to that, Tehenowin foolishly decided to attack one of our armies out here, or Barsathar's army in particular, but ultimately failed, and now Rakarth is sitting pretty. I believe Tehenowin's faction is pretty much broken, and we're unlikely to see it, I should say, to revive. To see it revive, there we go, that's the one. Anyway, let's begin with what we gotta do. Obviously, the admin is done as per usual. Malekith, I believe. I wanted you to do something, and what I wanted you to do was to catch Morgur. So, assuming that I'm correct, and that this is in fact Morgur right here, what Malekith needs to do is essentially cut him off. So, try to land outside of Brionne, like so. I will assume that Morgur is moving here because he's trying to get up here somewhere in order to attack the Wood Elves, and hopefully that way Malekith can catch him. And, ooh, Wicked Claw. This would be a great time for you to try to attack us. Oh, wow. It's all Skaven slaves. What is this? It's turn 90, Icket. How are you even... Okay, well, good luck to you, sir. We may even want to destroy the rats. I'm not entirely sure whether there's too much purpose in it. Really just wanted Morgur, but, you know. Do we want the rats at our backs, essentially, I guess is going to be the question. When we possibly attack the... well, not possibly. When we start fighting the Wood Elves, do we want the rats at our back? And the answer is I'm not sure right now. Either way, Morathi, land right here outside of Montana, so we can catch Morgur here, kill him with Malekith, wait a turn, he will revive instantly, and then we kill him again and destroy Montanas at the same time. Maybe it'll work. Also, I'm losing my voice, so if I sound weird today, well, that will be why. Druki Resources, you don't need to do anything for a while. I think we have enough armies at the current time to be getting on with, and, well, plus the armies that are currently being constructed. Malice, I'm gonna want you to move up north. Oh, my lord. Wow. What's the fastest way to... Actually, probably to go out at sea, then land at Shilong. Yeah, go this way. Basically, Malice is going to get his additional troops, as in to swap out those chariots, and he can get them from here, so we can meet up around Chimay, and then head up north to the northern provinces, just so that we also don't have them at our backs at the current time. We'll see if that one works out. That's Malice. Morathi is good. Druki Resources. Sharky, you have gotten that last island. You are waiting for just one more K-Knight Assassin, and... I mean, a Death Hag might also have been useful in your army. I don't know, do we need a Death Hag in this army? If nothing else, a Death Hag would give us extra casualty replenishment, which would be good. I will think about it. The only problem there is that the rest of the army is hidden, whereas the Death Hag, not so much, so, yeah. I don't know. We'll see. That's Sharky. Jaden the Troll of Lancashire. Ah, yes. You know what? I think you've been waiting here for 2 turns now, and regardless of what happens, we're just going to attack Clan Spittle, and we'll see if everybody gets angry at us for it. So, do this, and just go ahead and declare war. Alright, call your allies and Clan... Clan Pestilence didn't actually join them. Okay, well, they're screwed now. Auto-resolve? Huh, well, a little bit unfortunate that we now don't get to test out whether the, whether forcing Clan Pestilence to fight would have made us unreliable. Not that it's super important, mind you, but yeah. Jaden, you certainly don't need the, whatever you got, Pigeon Plucker Pendant, not going to be very useful to you. And we still have to replace a few other things in your item set, but you at least have some items, so you're fine for now. Admiral Moksha, you're good as you are, and I believe we already moved the admirals, so they're mostly okay. Let's move everybody else around. Now, Ricard, what did we have here again? I mean, you could fight this if you really wanted to, but frankly, it's a little bit on the too basic side. I mean, we fought Eatstone, and it had a bunch of Temple Guard. This is much, much more basic. It might still be worth it, though. Yeah, maybe we'll fight it. Maybe we'll fight it. Let's do this. Let's send Barsathar, not to support here, but to land a Chupayodal land, or to take out Chupayodal, and take that instead. It's a Pestilence Scheme, yes it is. You can auto-resolve this, a little bit of damage and a free War Banner. And Occupy, not so much that we care about Chupa. Hey, perfect figure, not too bad. And the War Banner will go on probably the Medusa army, funnily enough. Collect income. Don't collect income. Alright, that looks good. Southern Sentinels will attack you, but let's move everybody else first and then we shall go. So, Rikarth, you're good. The Shell Ray, you are still sitting out here. Well, we can let the we can let Bretonia deal with this. I don't really care about the I don't really care about Grom's faction at the current time. We can attack them, of course, but frankly, these would all be weak fights, and they don't really give us anything. If these guys manage to build up a full stack, however, then we'll have the Shell Ray deal with them. Sort of like farming the orcs. Anyway, Akhenaten, you can move out here. Let's move you into Musion temporarily, just in case we get into a fight with the Skaven. And I guess we want to probably then do the same thing with Mave here. I'm going to go to Bordelot, like so, like Bordeaux. And we need to wait for Ferry to get to Akhenaten, but yeah, that'll happen. I'm not being sarcastic, it'll actually happen as in a turn or so. Alrighty, Ferry, you don't need to move. Lokir has moved. Eladan is good. Vashus Barbstorm, oh, you again. Admin, there's probably some admins somewhere that may need move, but... well, if there are rather, I don't remember where they are. Not super important right now. And I believe that's it, unless I'm mistaken. You, Leech, have not actually moved this turn. Oh, it's because you cannot move. Okay, well, fair enough. Fair enough, and Helebron, you will move next turn again to continue attacking the Sylvanians, which means I believe we're good to end the turn. So, skip here, not moved. No siege equipment available. Yes, okay. I almost forgot there. You Scarecrow Banner on you. Standard of Discipline probably doesn't actually need to be in the army, but whatever. Let's do this fight real quick. And ooh, Jungle Swarm. Extremely devastatingly threatening ability. However, probably not against monsters and chariots, but against infantry. Man, that ability is obnoxious. Anyway, here we go. Alright, very well, a little bit of a boring speech from you today, Rikarth, but that's okay. I'm sure the fight will not be boring. Let's see what Rikarth and the Manticores can do this time, especially to compare it to the previous fights, where they had a little bit of a tough time getting surrounded by those Temple Guard. Alas for the enemy, it is not Temple Guard we'll be facing off against here, but regular Source Warriors and a bunch of other supports, so I think we'll be in a lot better of a position. Anyway, we're going to open up the battle by moving our flyers forward while dropping Flocks of Doom on the piles of enemies, and having Rikarth jump down onto those Razor Dawn hunting packs. Not the Reviv Crystal first, mostly because from my Croc Gar campaign, I've learned that the Razor Dawns are pretty darn fragile, so we should be able to rip through their HP quite quickly with Rakarth and his 2 pet manticores, wait, 3 pet manticores, and when these guys are out, then we can simply switch to the Basti, although it looks like the Manticores can work on the Basti while Rakarth goes after the Razor Dawns. Maybe that would be better. In fact, it seems like he's getting blocked a little bit, so oh well. In the meantime, while that is happening, the gate is about 1/3 of the way through in terms of damage. It will take some time to break through it. Not a big deal. It's also always weird to see how the Scourge Runner chariots are at only 3 in terms of their veterancy, and everybody else is much higher. Alright, so apparently I lied and we didn't go after the Razor Dawn hunting pack. I think I originally intended to, but then since the Basti moved in, we did drop down on the Razor Dawns after all, but since the Basti with the Reviv moved in, we just had to break it apart instead. Alrighty. And with that dead, now we can switch to the Razor Dawn hunting packs. Looks like the Manticores and Rakarth got a little bit distracted. Just trying to get a good angle on these guys in their fights because the camera is wonky within these walls. And yes, as you can see, those Razor Dawns are dropping quite quickly. And should be out of here soon. Good job, Rakarth and the Manticores. I'm a little bit surprised that the enemy hasn't moved any Cold Ones or Saurus to try to counteract this a little bit, but, well, I suppose that's its problem. It looks like these guys are getting hit a little bit by the enemy range units, though Rakarth took the most damage. He actually has the ability to get some of that HP back, where the rest do not. Wait, Rakarth does have, well, he has a healing potion, but not regular regeneration, which I guess is making him a little bit more fragile, similar to Malekith before he had Soul Stealer. Although maybe similarly to Malekith with Soul Stealer, because this guy at least has a healing potion. Anyway, the gate is just about through, and all of those Hydra and Charybdis heads are gonna say, "Here's Johnny," and gonna start biting some skinks and whatnot. I don't imagine the blob of enemies is gonna have an easy time holding against that. Rakarth, in the meantime, is continuing to fly around, but at this point is just going to go after the enemy towers and then find isolated units to destroy. This should allow our monstrous units, or I guess they're pretty much all monstrous units, but our Hydras and Charybdises to do some work. We're obviously also still missing that single Blood Rack Shrine in this particular army, which we do want to get in here just to buff our blob of units up and debuff the enemy. And frankly, it may be a good idea to keep one of our flying manticores with this blob at all times, just to give them that extra physical resistance and armor via bolstered armor. Everything nice and bloody. And I forget, did we put a Banner of Eternal Flame in this army? Because we damn well should have, because it buffs everybody nearby. Alright, there we go. The monsters are certainly in. You gotta love seeing the Hydras and Charybdises. They are definitely one of my favorite monsters in the game. They're just so fun to watch, and I do have a little bit of a bias towards Hydra because Hydra Dominatus. Alright, and the Chill of Sauntor is an amazing regiment of renown in particular. Plus, it's so cute. I mean, every single one of those heads is adorable, and every single one of them deserves pets. You, and then you. There we go. Alright, back to it. Hydra, bite away. Looks like those Kroxigors are dropping in by the looks of it, or trying to run, though probably in vain. We've essentially destroyed the enemies that were guarding over on this side and are now breaking through the enemy lines. Bounce power is about to 85 to 90% in our favor. Rakarth is going after a unit of Skink cohort with javelins here, and then the Manticores are going after some Saurus warriors as well. Let's watch a little bit of the Manticores fighting, and soon we will have our Scourge Runner chariots move in to support these guys, mostly to chase the enemies down here, as funnily enough, the Scourge Runner chariots are not particularly useful in this army when we are in a siege. But that's to be expected. I mean, chariots and cav in sieges, with the exception of monstrous cav, are generally not going to be particularly useful. Anyway, it looks like these Saurus are just about done for, especially with Rakarth joining the fray. The chariots are zooming on into the city as well, and are getting a few shots off as they head upward to chase enemies down. Speaking of heading upward, the Hydras and Critices are trying to head up the ramp and really find any other enemies that are still in the game, though it looks like there really isn't much of them. And looks like these guys are going to try to loop around. They're going to head towards Rakarth, perhaps? Well, and that's up to them. Maybe they think a decapitating strike will work here. If you can't, well, a decapitating strike doesn't work so well against Hydras and Calibuses because, well, they have so many heads. But at the very least, trying it against Rakarth might be a better idea. Alrighty, and finally the Cold Ones join the fray. A little bit late, I will admit, but it looks like they'll get ripped apart by Rakarth. And I do believe the battle should be just about ours. Alrighty, finally getting some lovely shots of him fighting, as he hasn't had as much screen time as several of the other lords. And what are we at here? There we go. And the enemy has shattered. We're just going to wait a little bit while the healing potion activates and Rakarth heals as close to full as possible. And then the battle will be done. Alright, just everybody move forward, let him heal up. Maybe chase a few units while we're at it. And, oh, another thing with the, with chariots in general, with missile chariots in general, as you can see, if you can see them moving around, their HPs are actually slowly starting to drop, because while they're doing this, and trying to melee attack the Saurus, they're also shooting each other periodically with those range attacks, which is quite annoying. I do wish that they wouldn't do that. I mean, just for, I don't know, would it unbalance the game so much just to make that annoying, or to take out that annoying aspect of missile chariots in particular? And I know that other units do it as well, but it's really dangerous to chariots and to war sleds, and well, similar units essentially, in particular because they have low model numbers. If your pistoliers are shooting each other, at least they have plenty of units to cover that. Anyway, I digress. All right, very nice, very nice. I think the main argument for not auto-resolving that was that the auto-resolve probably would have killed off our chariots, which, despite not having fought too long, did at least a decent little bit of damage there, and the monsters had no problem breaking through the gates. Occupy. Well, actually, it took a while to break through the gates, but the the enemies had problems afterwards. You have a what? Cold One chariot for a master? No. Stay on Cold One. You stay on. Dark Pegasus don't need that either, and you have... Oh, yeah, okay, you actually do want the Dark Pegasus. Oh, right, you know what I find very strange? Hey, another factor. Elf Servant, that's fine. What I find very strange is if we take a look at the Sorceress, so let's take a look at Sabbatha here. See the weapon strength's at 405 with the Dark Pegasus, and it's also at 405 with the Dark Steed. If we put it to Cold One, it drops down to 323. Yes, more armor piercing, but the damage is quite a bit lower. So I find that very strange. In fact, extremely strange, considering that Cold Ones literally eat horses. So the fact that a Dark Steed would do considerably more damage than a Cold One mount makes no sense to me whatsoever, as the Steed has no chance against a Cold One, generally speaking. But anyway, Dark Pegasus for you either way, because you're going to be flying around and supporting, as you should. Now, okie dokie, now 2 territories remain to the Cult of Sotek, so we're going to have to loop around with Rakarth over the next 2 turns, but it shouldn't be problematic. And we also have our 3rd army, our Medusa army, coming up here as well. Alrighty, and I believe that was it this turn. Yes, we moved around everybody else, so Garrison Lord and assigned skill points here are not moved. Building upgrades I did between the episodes, so we're ready to go next turn. And go next turn we shall. Here we go. Alrighty, let's see where Morgur went. Vashnar, what you want? Military access? No. We don't know whether you're going to survive, and frankly, if we just let the Legions of Chaos keep fighting with the Harkeon, I'm perfectly happy to allow that to continue happening. It doesn't bother me in any way. Alrighty, now, where is Morgur? Let's hope that he... Ah, there he is, I see him. Alrighty, let's hope that we're in range. He might be able to run, which would be unfortunate, but we'll see. A skull helmet for one of our admins, or growth. I guess we'll take the skull helmet. Not that it's a big deal, but whatever. Rite of Primeval Glory for the Cult of Sotek. Oh, fascinating. Amateur discovered. So Cult of Sotek just got a full stack, a full monstrous stack. Yes, I am actually very happy about that. That's definitely something that Rakarth should very much enjoy. Oh, where are you going, Pestilence Schemer? Can we kill you? Wait, you have 2 turns of steel? Okay. Witch Elves, Sisters of Slaughter, get more tanky. Journey complete for Admin, another organ merchant for Steven Segalis, but importantly, Admin will now transfer these elites to Canavale Grimgaze and is now good. Secondly, Admin will have to administrate, let's say, High Chai. What do you do, by the way? Emerald Dye. Okay, it's actually not worth it here. Where would it be worth it? Probably here. So we'll send you to administrate Mount Lee or Chief. Gonna put you into the capital. So away you go. Alrighty, then, Canavale, I guess you're gonna go south first? There's only one island down here. Oh, potentially another one. Wait, where does this go? Oh, it goes to the... Oh, it goes to Port... to the Tower of the Sun. Ah. Well, that's interesting. That's very interesting indeed. We could have you attack the Nurglites. We could have you sail up the coast here and help the Knights of Calador. I guess the question then is just, do we need you to help with these guys? And the answer is I'm not sure. Wei Jin is still alive, but it looks like it just got sacked by somebody, so maybe they won't survive. Nonetheless, there's a couple of islands up here. You know what? Let's move up here for now, like this, and then we'll see if we need the help near Malice, then we'll use you for help, but if not, then we'll head down and then find the other High Elves here and start trading with them, presuming that they survive. But I've actually never, ever seen them die, as in I don't think I've even ever seen anybody attack them, much less kill them, so yeah. Anyway, Morgar, how far are you? I don't like that. You might be able to run. But we have no guarantee. Maybe we'd be able... Nah, he'd definitely be able to get far enough away. You can no longer reach Montanas, can you? Oh, damn, that's not good, because you only have 1 turn remaining on your steel tech. Huh. We could identify Castle Carcassonne, but that would take an extra turn, though it would level you up. Alright, fine, identify Castle Carcassonne. The Skaven won't be happy about that, but frankly, we're past caring about that. Alright, there we go. And what level is it, by the way? What are we looking at here? Oh, it's level 2. Oh, it's basically got nothing. But then Morgar will run. We might not be able to catch him. Or we risk it. We keep Malekith where he is, and we just hope that Morgar goes somewhere where Malekith can reach. Alright, here's what we'll do. Mave, I'm gonna want you to march stance all the way down here. Then we're gonna swap Akhenet down to Bordelot, where she will defend Bordelot. Can I upgrade you, Bordelot Harbor? Sure. There we go. Upgrade Bordelot Harbor. And then, Malekith, you are going to move, like... Wait, does this even help? I don't know, Malekith, just stay here. Maybe we can catch Morgar. The problem is we need Malekith to specifically catch Morgar, not somebody else. Oh, if he goes here, that'll be annoying as well. Damn it. Okay, go over here. I hope he doesn't wuss out. Whose territory did we just trespass in? Oh, wow, these guys don't like that. Treaties with Clan Scryer, Clan Angron, the Ancestral Throng, eh? Well, it's probably good that Orion is starting to dislike us, because, well, he's going to dislike us a lot more before long, let's face it. And while we technically do have treaties with Clan Scryer, they also dislike us very, very much. Anyway, Morathi, stay here near Montanas, and we shall see whether we can take out Morgar twice. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. Hellebrand. Yes, your new sorceresses. Okay, first of all, I forgot to name you guys R&D, just so I don't get confused.
Sister of the Dark Convent.
But with all the R&Ds wounded, I'm worried that the tech level will go down, and we just can't have that right now. Success, and there should be a... Oh, there we go. Please, nobody get wounded right now. Oh, are you unable to reach this? Well, damn. We are at 827 now, and hey, that gives us 1 turn on you. Okay, great. I don't really care about the iron mines and gold that we get from this. Is there anything actually useful here? Well, I guess the speed for Harpies or Hydra and Charybdis. And the rest is kind of meh. I mean, I guess the attrition suffered reduction, but, well, anything that takes 1 turn is still probably more worth our time. In the hopes that we can get enough R&Ds up and running to make everything else 1 turn as well. Anyway, take Nolan, please. And really? Medium casualties to this. Oh, auto-resolve. Why must you hate Hellebron's army? I guess the question is there an enemy army nearby that could capitalize on this? And the answer is there's a very small one, and thus probably not. Felix von Karstein, by the looks of it, wouldn't be able to reach it. Alright, well then that's fine. Just auto-resolve it, even though it's going to damage our army heavily, but what can you do? And I guess we can then loot and occupy it once again and heal up in that manner. Alright. Felix might siege us and waste our turn, so we should probably head outside of Nuln and then go into raiding stance in our own territory, which will get us back to full health. We can also repair Nuln, don't collect the income rather, and trade it off to whoever. Although if it rebels, well, actually if it rebels, we don't really care about that either, do we? Alrighty, next up, who do we have? Let's try to find ourselves a nice battle. Malice, you had started moving. And I guess you shall continue doing. Alright, head out here and go through Shilong, I guess. Little island over here. We do have another... Wait. I don't remember whether I sent out the other Druki resources with Malice's followers. Oh, no, I didn't. They have to go to Fern Harvest, the Tempest of Talent, because that's the buff for the... well... Not the Scourge Runner chariots, actually, but just the other, the Cold One Knights, but that's fine. Alright, then you're going to transfer right here, and you're going to go back to Hag Grief. Alright, there we go. This army is also now complete. Fantastic. Our armies are all reaching completion. Don't you just love reaching completion? Anyway. Anyway, I am very mature. Morathi, I already checked you, so I should check Sharky. Next, you are heading to the start of the Norscan territories, which I guess is going to be Serpent Jetty, and you'll meet Leech before you get there. Lovely. Jaden the Troll Vanquisher. You... Well, no. Ashok the Bloody. How you doing out there, buddy? How you doing out there, Bloody? Let's... Let's, wait, you go here, please. Let's see if this place is defended. And not really.
I will destroy them.
Maybe we'll fight it, maybe we won't, I'll think about it. Frankly, it's not a lot of units, but on the other hand, these two haven't fought in a while.
Torture them.
I do have limited artillery. Some close victory here. Might be fun just for fun, I'll think about it. Maintain blockade for now, and then we shall see whether we bother with it. Maybe I should have actually sent you out. No, you couldn't have reached Fabrigear, so fine. Anyway, we'll keep you there, but we'll move everybody else first. So that was Jaden. McCarthy, you know where to go, which is down to Kayaks. Let's go... we probably shouldn't go into raiding stance just in case we get attacked. Stay in our own territory, which is... right there, and then Barsathar, you are going to follow along. Like so. Close enough to Ricard. And who are you again? Oh, Colin, you're supposed to join this army. Ah, yes, speaking of army. So, Druki resources, you're transferring these guys to Erdothane. And then Erdothane will be getting that Death Hag. Erdothane, you can move out here as well. Oh, I can't wait to use this army. Maybe we'll try to prioritize using this army in particular, because it is very different from all of our other armies. And then you, Colin, can go into replenish troops here. Not actually entirely sure whether we need the Death Hag in that army, but, you know, why not? Burkarth has one, after all. Druki resources. You will now need to return from whence you came, which is out here somewhere, where you can, I guess, grab all of these units. You need to level up. And probably... You're a Life Quencher, eh? We'll need to get you some Cainite forces. I swear I built a Cainite temple in the... Yes, I did, which means we can recruit some Life Quencher units. Not at a high rank, mind you, but, well, let's see. This doesn't increase their ranks anyway. So, yeah, I guess we'll get them at relatively low ranks. Let's do a little bit more Sisters of Slaughter in this particular army because we'll probably get more use out of them. And then you will join this army as well. And I guess so will you, Dathag. And we'll need a sorceress here as well, but we'll deal with that later. Not right now. I'm sure it'll take a while for that army to be completed anyway, slash that Black Ark, whatever. Alrighty, who's up next? That was Rikarth, the Shell Rat. You are still out here, and you're still annoying these guys, and I guess you can stick around to continue doing so. Gotta watch out for Orion suddenly attacking you, though. You are healing slowly here, though. Maybe we should even go back to our own territory and make sure we heal to full, and then come back here.
Be ready.
You know what? I kind of like... Oh, but this will actually reduce our casualty replenishment rate. You know what? Go into raiding and then go right up here and then go here. To Carrick Ziflin. I wonder, are we able to hold forts in the same way that we're able to hold gates, or are we not able to actually build it? Because if we can hold gates, this might be a good idea for us, but if not, then obviously it's a waste of our time and effort. But anyway, Ferry, look here. You... Now, what the heck do we do with you? We could move out to help the Knights of Caledor. Oh, you're also waiting for your wounded guy who's gonna appear at Xi'an. And you can just raid here for a while if you want. Man, look at how cheap his army is. The Black Ark Corsairs are basically free. Out of curiosity...
Show me the compass.
How much would it give us for raiding this place?
Pillage and plunder.
It might actually be a good idea to acquire the defeat trait from the ogres. We could also just raise everything in the mountains rather than bothering to take it, or once again give it to the Knights of Caledor. I'll think about it. In the meantime, it's not like you could reach either thing, so just sit here for now, friendo. Who's up next? That was Loke here. Eladan, no, not Eladan. Well, Eladan, actually, sort of Eladan. I want you to go here where we may get you a little bit of a shade army, not a crazy one or anything like that. Druki Resources, you completed your Flamespire Phoenixes. And next up, we want several things. You, Mr. Grimgaze, want to get three more Blackguards of Naggarond. You... Let's get Mr. Grimgaze a couple of War Hydras. And why can we only build one? You have recruited the maximum number of units into this... Oh. Well then. I see the issue. Alright, give, let's say, 2 Phoenixes to him.
What
And just for fun. I mean, we could do 3 Phoenixes.
Very well.
We do need space. Well, we could always give him more Phoenixes. Wait, we need to actually make room for 4 units, so give him 3 Phoenixes for now. And then let's get him... a couple of Blood Rack Shrine or 2 would also be nice, rather than the regular Blood Rack Medusa, but we can't build those here, though. That may change. No, it's not going to change. Well, it will change, but not soon. So for now, I guess we'll just give him a couple Hydras, and maybe a couple Manticores to go with the Phoenixes, although, well, at least the Manticores will get buffed by the Beastmen. But I kind of want more Medusa. Get a little bit of something range in this army. There we go. You guys keep on recruiting for the time being. Anyway, that was you, yes? Now, where the heck do we find you? Alright, that's you. Furion Beastbinder, your army is ready. You're going to grab whatever this is real quick, and then you're going to head back to the Witchwood for the endgame scenario, since there are, I believe, no nearby islands. But there's one down here. I see a Skull Island down there. Not worth our time.
To the underworld.
Maybe the Skull Island. I'm also considering lowering our slave count to about 5,000 or so. Maybe worth it. Hello, Lost Cargo. That's a nice pickup. It's a very nice pickup.
Wield the wild.
Just double checking that there isn't a Skull Island down here. The reason for that... Well, I guess we could send you down.
We move when
Oh, it would actually probably be faster for you to go through the land, wouldn't it? I would think. As long as you get here in time, we'll be fine. I forgot what I was saying.
Critters submit.
Well, not important. Not important. I'm sure I'll remember it at the most inopportune moment later on. So, Erdithane, Gate Smiter, we have moved you. Wait, we have not moved everybody. That was you, Fairy. Yeah, lots of movement admin, which isn't building admin, but still is, in a way, admin. Any islands nearby for your Marked executioners, and now, okay, well, you can just wait for the endgame turn. Bane, you can join the army, completing it. Astra is supposed to join the flying army, but I guess Astra can wait here. Also, I like the name Astra for the flying army, makes sense to me.
Master of my time, my talents.
Alright, there we go.
Establish
Killian
a
Kane Mark's
garrison.
army is now complete. Perfection. Alrighty, now we just have to find where the heck you are in this list. Damn, the list of units is getting big, and this is why I didn't want another, or any more armies, I should say. It's starting to get to the point too many, and
I approve of these.
Alrighty, you move out here, Admiral Valal. You'll be landing at the Altar of the Crimson Harvest in 5 turns, something like that, unless I'm mistaken, or earlier if the Norskins dare to actually attack us. Admiral Yorn, you're going to pick up this island right here. Right here. There you go. And let's go Power Prescience, favorable winds, and I guess you're going to go out to this foggy area. Don't go in March Stance because we might run into a rogue army, and I'd rather risk you dying. Alright. Well, it looks like we're going to be able to end the turn, but hey, getting close to that end game, so every turn is, every turn turned is valuable. Why can't I see you? Huh, it's like he's not selected, even though I have him selected. Oh, there we go. Okay. Admiral Leech, your turn, my friend. Or actually, is it? There's nothing for you to do, and you're good where you are. Alright, Moksha, you two are going to attack. That was this turn, right? Or did I... Or...
Starting.
Yeah, that was this turn. That was this turn. Okay. For a second, I thought that I had the wrong turn. And Canovale, you have moved, which I believe means everybody has. Well, we just have the heroes and the other admin to do, but we can do that afterwards. Actually, speaking of, 1 turn until sacrifice to Hecate. Fantastic. Do we have any additional capacity for any more sorceresses? We do have 1 more. I guess we could get 1 more. And just to annoy the Eagle Gate some more, do we have anybody who's intelligent? Would be swell for the extra increase in experience, but I don't see it. Okay, fine. Just go for malicious. It doesn't really matter. And then we will do this so I don't forget. Specialist, Stand, Steel, Tech, and Power Sap into Quell, and then into Potent. And then rename you R&D. I'd love to complete all the techs if possible, but I don't know. I feel like the campaign will end before all the techs are completed, because we still have a fair few to go here, and there's still 2 turns. As long as there are 2 turns, it's not likely. Anyway, let's do this. We will attack at the Star Tower right now, I think. It's not going to be of any issue by the looks of it, but it might be a fun battle, and that's what we're here for after all.
I will succeed.
Alrighty, here we go. Perhaps not the last stronghold of Clan Spittle, as they do have 1 more, but potentially the only hard target that we will have against them. I do think that their campaign will essentially end here, and we're going to start ending them by breaking down the towers on this wall. This is one of the rare times that I've deployed over on this side. I have a tendency on this map to deploy closer to the center, very occasionally over on this side, but it really depends on the type of army that you have. For on this particular map, one of these towers is unbreakable, or indestructible rather, and thus will continue firing at you forever, which is an annoying aspect of this, and why I generally don't like to deploy infantry-heavy forces over on this side of the map. But this side of the map against the Skaven has tended to be encountered a lot in my Kroq-Gar campaign, and there with monstrous heavy armies, we can just charge in through the gate here, because it's, I don't know, kind of a decent setup, because there's really only 2 places the enemies can be, because this is blocked off, so you can kill enemies in huge mobs here. But where infantry heavy, or missile infantry in this particular case, heavy armies are concerned, we're better off here, or possibly in the center. Anyway, I digress, talking about the map as I do, but in the meantime, we have our Lord and Lady Jaden the Troll Vanquisher, killing off enemy elites up on top of the walls. Specifically, right now we're going after those death globes, but there are other poison and globadiers and warp fire throwers out there that we need to take care of. And of course, while Jaden is doing this, she's going to be dropping those flocks of doom on the enemies and taking them out as best she can. Looks like she's also found an enemy hero, which is a Plague Priest, and it would be nice to get that caster out of the way as well. Alright, good luck to you, Plague Priest. Get a nice little duel against the Manticore riding a Sorceress. This is probably the best chance that you'll get to knock one of these lords out, especially because they're going to be a lot more fragile on the Manticore than they are on a Black Dragon, which the Sorceresses can get. And we're trying to tech towards as fast as we can. Fortunately, the Plague Priest is down to below half HP, and we're getting some nice shots under. Ooh, I like those carved skating heads up in the air as well. You gotta love all the work in the maps in this game. Alrighty, and it looks like the enemy Plague Priest, Helm of Discord, terrified, and it goes down for the count. A little bit hidden by the effect of that Helm of Discord, unfortunately, but it is what it is. Now, we did take a little bit of damage, about a third of our HP off from that, and are now surrounded by Storm Vermin with Sword and Shield, and we're going to try to get the heck out of there. While that's, of course, happening, the rest of our army is going to move forward. I'm just going to speed that up a little bit as we do. Jaden has managed to get out of there, and we are starting to take hits from the enemy artillery. Funnily enough, I didn't actually notice this artillery originally, and only noticed this one, which is why all the air units are heading towards this one to try to take care of it before the enemy ranged units react, whereas this artillery piece was hiding and has now started to fire on us. Unfortunately. Not a big deal, however, as we did drop a supporting Kane's Cauldron on them, which unfortunately did not destroy any of the actual Plague Claws, but did damage the crew to below half HP. So another spell, or maybe some attacks from our other units, from our flyers, will do the work. In the meantime, our reinforcement army got in, or has arrived, and while I was originally not intending to use the Black Ark Corsairs here, I feel like we're just going to use the Black Ark Corsairs instead of the Shades with Great Swords. Send them up the walls where after they can heal up, and then Jaden can move on to the next settlement afterward. Of course, the other Black Ark Corsairs and the Shades and the Dark Riders can all provide some range support. Nice little line of units, and while we are taking shots from artillery, it's not too horrible. And at the same time, we're working on that gate with our artillery pieces and any enemy units we can reach. Now, the enemies are also going to have a pretty bad time, both in terms of fighting the Black Ark Corsairs in melee, getting shot by handbows right to the face, while arcing shots from the Dark Riders and the Shades hit them as well. Looks like the enemy is going to get a few shots off of those poison ring globadiers. We're going to have to be careful with that and probably target them as best we can with our range units. And there we go. Funnily enough, even though the Dark Elves do have a tendency, well, when played by people, do have a tendency to focus on the ranged units, we don't have a lot in the way of just full ranged armies in this particular campaign, as I've been intending to favor the melee armies, mostly because look, armies with like 8 units of Dark Shards are very, very effective, especially against the AI. They're just not that fun to play. And at least the Shades we can send into melee when they run out of their relatively limited ammunition. And so far we really only have Morathi's army that's been getting a lot of action for the ranged armies. We do still have Sharky and, of course, this army and Jaden's army, but, well, Jaden's army is sort of a close combat ranged army because of the relatively low range on the, 69, nice, on the Shades with Greatsword. Anyway, we continue to fire, but it looks like the walls are getting closer to being cleared. There are some Plague Monks out here, and they are starting to damage our Black Ark Corsairs, though I do imagine that that a little bit of friendly fire is also doing some of that. Not that the Black Ark Corsairs will fear death, as Dark Elves don't generally really fear death, even though they fight pretty darn hard to avoid it. There is no sin in Naggarond save weakness, or Naggaroth rather, save weakness. fear of death is certainly seen as something that is weak, and that's probably why the Dark Elves, unlike the Wood Elves and the High Elves, don't protect their souls from being eaten by Slaanesh. No waste stones for the Dark Elves, and considering the Dark Elves' mastery of spirit binding and a similar necromancy adjacent, I suppose, the uses of Dar, I do think that they would certainly be capable of protecting their souls. Whether it be from Slaanesh or whether it be from Erithkiel. Yeah, the afterlife of the elves kind of sucks in both fantasy and 40k. It's kind of interesting. Alrighty, well, it looks like we're still fighting. The heaviest fighting in this particular settlement is up here, where the enemy sensor bearers are still trying to defend. There's a big blob of them standing right here, and this looks like such a ripe target for one of our Black Ark supporting abilities. There we go. Here comes the lightning, and the quarrels are going to follow down on that, and the Plague Monk sensor bearers have dropped in terms of their HP. An absolute slaughter up on these walls here, both Black Ark Corsairs and Rattlings lying dead, but frankly, one of the better fights for a wall that we've had in the campaign. Usually they end a little bit quicker than this, so I definitely am enjoying this one. Always glorious to see a bunch of close combat, and you also gotta love the ability of the Black Ark Corsairs to go to a wall, adhere to a wall like this, and fire backwards. Same reason that I love Free Company Militia. It's really fun to put these guys on walls and then have them fire into or through their back, essentially. Both for defending walls and taking walls. Quite useful. Anyway, balance of power has gone up to about 90%, maybe even higher, as we go after the last remnants of the enemy units. Our Manticores are wreaking absolute havoc. I believe they've actually killed the enemy warlord while we were fighting up on those walls, and it looks like the enemy army is just about ready to shatter. And yeah, we could have watched the Manticores fight the warlord, but let's face it, we've seen Manticores assassinate plenty of lords, heroes, and single entities throughout this campaign, and that wall fight with the massive slaughter up in this corner was just too good to miss. Wouldn't you agree? Anyway, one more little Black Ark support in running a unit just because I wanted to see it, and more rats will die, but I think with that, I'm going to speed up and end the battle. Fantastic. A decisive victory for us, and, well, say what you want about Clan Spittle and their relative irrelevance, but hell, they gave us a nice... Alrighty, you know what? I'm pretty glad that we ended up fighting that. That turned out to be a pretty darn fun battle, so I am very happy with it, and we got this former elven colony. Jaden has perfect vigor, which I'm sure she will make good use of once she begins fighting the endgame against the bowmen of Orion. Volcanic Islands are now completely ours. This faction is nearly destroyed. Let's get that obsidian up and running. Don't collect the income, go for demand highborn hostages. We will get torture here, but not in the Fuming Serpent, but instead at the Star Tower. The Blood Swamps, I believe, are the last territory belonging to Spittle still, and we could, funnily enough, peace out with them if we wanted to, but at this point there's no need, since the answer wrong is fighting them as well. Anyway, with that, we're basically out of time, and I'm going to call the episode here. I think what I might do is actually end the turn between the episodes, as in I'll build all the buildings and move all the heroes now, and then end the turn, and then do it again between the episodes, and then when we come back, we will be able to not have to deal with that. Though, of course, I'll have to stop if an actual battle tries to happen, so we will see, find out what will actually happen at the start of the next one. Stay tuned for more Malekith, and we are getting closer and closer to the end. Don't forget to leave a like and comment. All glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.